Yeah, well, I mean, the problem, I think one of the things about Buddhism is that it doesn't really talk about any spiritual development as if society as a whole or people as a whole develop in a good way. It doesn't really work like that, the Buddhist way. The Buddhist way is more about individuals and how individuals practice. Of course, it has effect on societies as well at large, because if some people are good, other people will be good, and it has like a snowball effect, of course, to some extent. But it's surprising when you look at some of the Buddhist countries in the world, like Sri Lanka or Thailand. Sometimes you find that there are just as much problems in those countries that there are in any other countries. It's not as if they have, look at Thailand, what's happening there now, And of course, even though they are Buddhist there, it doesn't always mean that brings with it a better society. And I think that it's actually spiritual development, therefore, is mostly a personal thing, and it's how you actually develop your spiritual life. Of course, one of the advantages at the time of the Buddha was that you had the Buddha around, and just seeing somebody like that, somebody who's extremely peaceful and kind and compassionate, of course, is going to have a very powerful impact on you. So being there at the time is going to be very powerful. But still, we have the remnants of Buddhism are still here today, even though I think it seems to be declining, and we don't have the same power as we had at the time of the Buddha. It's still here. It's still possible to practice. And I would say, generally speaking, make the Buddhist practice a personal thing. Make it a personal practice, and don't worry too much about, if you do it rightly, it will have an enormous effect on the society around you as well, or some effect at least. But don't worry too much about changing the world or changing society, because essentially, in the end, it can't be done. You can change a little bit, but then it will go back again, back and forth, and you never know whether it's going to be effective or not. So it's dangerous, in my opinion, to have too much attachment, at least, to this idea of changing the world around you. If you're going to be helpful, try to be helpful without having any vested interest in the result of the helping. Help, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and you are usually okay.